Hi everyone, and welcome. This is just fabulous to see you all. Thank you so much for coming. It's kind of weird because it's now 3 years since the last time we were able to have an in-person P7 Parents Information Evening. So I really appreciate you all coming, and I hope you find the evening useful. Just to let you know that the evening's been recorded, but don't worry, it's just the slides that'll be recorded. None of you will be in it, and neither will we. So we'll do a few introductions first of all, and the first person I want to introduce you to is our head teacher, Miss Claire Meakin. And please just come along in, don't worry about that. So.
Thank you very much, Jenny, and good evening to you all. As Jenny says, it's so lovely to see everybody together. Many of you will know that I arrived in August last year with all hope of meeting lots of parents and actually being part of the community. And COVID didn't quite allow that to happen, but actually that's why today is even more special for us. So, 3 things for you. 1, welcome to the KGS family, because you are absolutely a key part of that. 2, thank you for trusting your child's education with us, because we know that is a huge part of them growing up, and thank you for your trust and your confidence. And my 3rd thing is, over the next 6 years, if you have any questions, any concerns, please reach out to us, because together we will make sure that they have the very best experiences. But that's enough from me. I'm going to pass back over to Jenny, and I hope to have the opportunity to chat with a few of you a bit later.
Hello, so my name is Jennifer Devlin, and I'm the year head for S1 and 2. And another part of my remit is pupil support at KGS. And this is Mrs. Marlon Firth, who is our guidance manager. And just to let you know, the leadership team, I'll introduce you to the leadership team. Hello, welcome. So we've got Miss Meakin, and then Alasdair Harvey is the deputy head teacher and head of S3 and 4, and he'll be speaking to you in a wee minute. And Neil Ewing is deputy head teacher and head of S5 and 6, just so that you know. And they'll speak to you in a wee minute. We've also got 2 business managers, job share, and that's Karen Kent and Faith Riley. We don't have a photograph of Faith. And you may notice something about our photographs that are all quite old. We look considerably older, unfortunately. I think we've all got a few more grey hairs since these photographs were taken.
Can I just extend a huge warm welcome to you all here this evening too. As Jenny said, I'm Marlon Firth, and I am the guidance manager here at Kirkwall Grammar School. It's been an absolute joy to have your young folk with us over the last 2 days. We've been really pleased to see so many happy faces. So many confident young folk getting their name badges on, going among classes, getting on their dinners, getting on their breaks, and engaging with each other. I hope they've come home and said they've had a really good time. We've certainly enjoyed having them with us. Here at the grammar school, we're divided into 3 different huses. We've got Competency Hus, Einala Hus, and Farah Hus. And your children will belong to one of those different huses. We've got a big guidance team here. We've got Mrs. Ruxia Woods, and we've got Miss Bridget Taylor. We've got Mr. Mark Berry. We've got Mr. Colin Nisbet, and we've got Mrs. Kim Fletcher. And between us, it's all of our responsibility to make sure that your young folk are doing as well as they possibly can, pastorally, academically, curricularly, in every kind of way. And as Jenny and as Claire will have said too, absolutely please get in touch with any of us at any time. We don't want you worrying about anything. And there is nothing that is a pity worry. Just get in touch, pick up the phone, send us an email, and if there's anything that we can do to help, we'll do it as soon as we possibly can. Really, really important that communication and positive relationships threads through your young person's time at Kirkwall Grammar School.
Curriculum support at Kirkwall Grammar School. I think Mrs. Phillips is here somewhere. Yeah, there she is. That's Mrs. Phillips. You'll see her picture there. And she is principal teacher of curriculum support. It's a really big department because we're a resource school. And we also have a new post, PT curriculum support. It's a vacant post at the moment, but it's a new post. And that's more support in the curriculum support department. So we're very, very pleased about that. And Mrs. Phillips will be here tonight, along with all the other stuff that's going on outside. And if you've got any questions or any concerns, please do just memorise that face and just go and have a wee chat to her when we finished in here. Dress code. I won't speak to you about the dress code.
I'll speak about the dress code. I'm happy to do that. We're really proud to have a dress code here at Kirkwell Grammar School, and it's a very straightforward, very simple dress code. We ask the young folk to wear hoodies or sweatshirts or a polo shirt or a t-shirt that's got the school logo on that. Now, we've got a selection of uniforms available here tonight that are pre-loved uniforms. We've popped them out in the foyer. It's just right at the door as you come in. So if anybody would like to have a wee rummage and take some dress code home, you're warmly invited to do that. If you want to put a wee contribution in for school funds, that's great. If you don't, that's also fine. It's just that we've got these uniforms and there's no point them sitting in boxes here at the school. We would far sooner that folk were making good use of them. Having the school top on the top layer is really, really important for us so that we can quickly identify with the school with the logo on. In terms of what they can wear in the bottom half, on the top half, white, black or navy shirt and school tie is an option. Sometimes for sixth years, choose to wear that particular dress code. Sometimes younger ones, anybody can obviously wear any mixture of the school dress code. We would ask that they wear smart breaks on the bottom half, or jeans or skirts. We would ask that you try and avoid the kind of great big holes in the jeans if you can, and that's really to do with health and safety so that nothing is getting caught with the big holes in the jeans. Sport shorts should be worn in PE and just kept for PE as far as possible. Now, as well as outside of our foyer, there's a number of other different places where you can locate and buy school uniform. So Trek and Travel in Bridge Street, McGregor Industrial Supplies, Logo Orkney in Albert Street, and you can get fair trade items also available for www.coolschools.co.uk. So there's a number of different ways that you can get school uniform. In terms of PE, the most important thing for us is bairns feeling comfortable in their PE kit. So they should wear a plain t-shirt or top, shorts or tracky trousers and training shoes with non-marking soles for obvious kind of reasons. So this is separate for their dress code that they're wearing across the school day. For outdoor PE, tracksuit bottoms, sweatshirt or similar top. And for swimming, pupils should bring a tool and either trunks or a one-piece swimming costume. Or again, they can wear something long in the pool if they need to wear that, as long as it's tight and safe. The most important thing, as I say, that they're comfortable in PE and safe to play.
Now, you may well know about the school day, but just in case you don't, here's the school day, and I should say that lots of good information, like the school day, if you go back home and can't remember what the school day is, it's all on our school website, and we'll show you a bit of that later. But so Monday to Thursday, it's at 8:35 a.m. start, so really important that young people arrive in time for school. That's not the optional bit. They need to be there for registration because we're hoping to use registration time more and more as time goes on. It's a great time for finding out what the news is, for what clubs are on and what's going on in the school day. So it's very important. Friday, I hope you all know by now, is a half day, so they finish at 12:20, but they're really welcome to still stay and get their lunch. Then the school buses come. So either they can get the school lunch and walk home, or they can get school buses after lunch as well. So there's plenty of time for them to have something to eat. Or they can just go straight home at 12:20, if that suits you better. S1 pupils, we just wait and see how it goes, just so that they get first in the queue. There are quite long lunch queues. They do go down very, very quickly. It doesn't take long after the first few weeks for those lunch queues to drop very quickly and for pupils to get through the lunch queue quite quickly. So usually the maximum they're having to wait is about 10 minutes, but it's quite a long lunch break, so they do have plenty of time. But what we do for the first 2 or 3 weeks of next term, we'll get them out of class before the others, just so that they get practiced in going through those lunch queues. We'll just see how it goes, and if they're getting the hang of it, we'll revert to the normal time after a few weeks. And just to let you know, just probably the same as when you were at school, there's a bell at period change times and before registration.
Now, school meals. Food is a very, very important part of life at Kirkwell Grammar School. So if your young person doesn't have time for breakfast at home in the morning, or if their bus is very early, there is breakfast foods available for them for 8:10 onwards till 8:30 in the dining hall, and there's a range of kind of basic foods available: coffee, tea, hot chocolate, but they can also get bacon rolls or sausage rolls or cereal and toast. So I don't care why I'm calling that basic, there's nothing basic about that at all. Lunch, obviously most of our young folk have lunch at the school. So they can get the choice of their kind of 2-course meal or a range of different snacks. Pupils are more than welcome to pack lunches into school. And if there are any particular dietary requirements, it's really important that you share that information with us, because our canteen staff absolutely want to make sure that they're meeting the dietary requirements of all our pupils. So we wouldn't want folk no having our school meals because they were worried about the contents, etc. There's always options available for all of our young folk. Obviously, young folk can go home for lunch if that's convenient for you and them, and sometimes young folk go down into Kirkwall. We absolutely don't want the first years doing that in the first term. We really would like them to stay in the school during the first term. We have a swipe card payment system that operates, and we'll tell you a pretty bit more about that later. And if pupils are entitled to free school meals, then obviously, sorry, could you go back one? Ms. Gilbert, you've gone too quick for me. If they're entitled to free school meals, they can either have the 2-course main lunch, or they can get the equivalent amount of snacks for the snack bar. And obviously when it's a card system like that, it just goes through their cards. Thanks. So healthy eating is something that is obviously important to everybody. So we just have chips available once a week in the school, and we strongly discourage fizzy drinks. We would really encourage all our young folk to have non-disposable water bottles, so that they're not buying plastic bottles of water time and time again. So if they can provide their own water bottle which can just be filled up, that would be our preferred choice. We would ask that no energy drinks are brought into the school. I think we all know that energy drinks are absolutely not good for our young people, so that's something that we would prefer not to see. As I said earlier, you can bring their unpacked lunches into school, and there's a variety of different places where they will be able to eat their packed lunches. We know that for some young folk it's difficult to eat in front of other people, so again, if that information can be shared with us, we can make provision for young folk to make sure that they are getting their lunches. We have a particular area in the dining hall that's designated for S1 pupils. We're going to try and extend that a pretty bit, because we saw yesterday and the day that there's a huge number of S1 pupils trying to get into that one area. They can go outside, just outside the S1 area, which is grand in the summer months, but that's not something that we would be wanting them to do in the winter months. As far as moving around the school and food is concerned, the young folk aren't allowed to take food up the stairs unless that's been pre-arranged with a member of staff, because they're attending a kind of organised event. So this is the kind of school payment system. So your young folk have been introduced to this payment system yesterday when they were in the school. So we've got a number of these machines in the ground floor here at the school, because it's a cashless system that we operate here. So what will happen is that you will get a letter for Orkney Islands Council over the course of the summer. Usually it comes quite late on in the summer holidays, so don't panic if you've not gotten that letter. And it will explain the online system to you. So there's 2 different ways that your young person's account can be topped up. You can give them cash, and they can put the cash directly into that machine there, and then they type their own number into it, their name will come up and it'll tell them how much they've got in their account. Or you can top it up at home, because you'll create an account at home, and you might just want to get into the habit of topping up that account, for example, every Sunday. The beauty of doing the online top-up account is you can see exactly what your young person has been eating in school. So if you want to go in and check that they are having particular things, or you're just interested to know what they've been eating at school, you can do that. The PIN numbers, they'll get the PIN numbers on their first day when they come to the grammar school. And the PIN numbers, I have to say, are absolutely tiny. So we would ask that the young folk write down their PIN number somewhere else, or take a photo of it, or you take a photo of it, so that when you come and say, oh, where's that PIN number, there's more than one copy of the PIN number. I think that is really, really important. Young folk can also use their Young Scot cards to pay for their snacks and lunch as well. So there's a variety of ways that we can do that.
So attendance, very, very important. Attendance is really important for us, and we've got a legal obligation to make sure that young folk are kept safe in the school and that we know where they are at all times. So we would ask you, just so that you're aware, again, this is all on the website, so don't worry if you forget. We want you to phone the school before 9 o'clock each morning. So it's each morning that a child is absent. And I know that's a bit of a pain in a way, but it's just sometimes pupils come back earlier than you expect, and we just need to know every morning if they're going to be absent that day, even if you think they're likely to be absent for several days. So if there hasn't been a phone call, you will get a text message from the school, just so that we know, can say that they're off. Pupils who arrive will have to sign in late. There's a duty officer who will be at the door. They must give a reason for lateness and provide a note or appointment card. And Orkney Islands Council are introducing a new attendance policy, so that will be updated as well, and we'll provide you with more information about that once it's finalised. Pupils must sign out. They can't just leave school, even by prior arrangement with you. And we'll talk about that when we come on to mobile phones just a little bit. And they must sign out if they've got a doctor's or dentist's appointment. Ideally, if possible, if they can bring an appointment card or a note from you, and on return they have to sign back in. Again, it's just so that we know where they are at all times. It is much stricter than back in the day, even 10 years ago. It is much stricter than it used to be. Sick bay, if your child feels ill, again, rather than just going off or something, it's really important that they let their teacher know that's absolutely fine. They can go down, maybe be seen by a first aider, and we'll phone you if there's any problem at all. We'll give you a wee phone and see, in case they need to go home. Mustn't make their own personal arrangements to go home, and that's, again, we just need to know where they are and what's going on to keep them safe. Unplanned absences, if you don't know that they're going to be off, please just let us know as soon as you possibly can. And if they're going on a trip or an activity and you feel that they need to go off school, please can you email the head teacher and just let her know, asking for permission, and we'll record that absence. Now I'm going to hand you over. In fact, just before I do hand you over, just really to say that about communications. Really important that, I know you'll have filled in health forms, but if there's any changes at all to your child's health, a new illness or something like that, please do let the school know. And similarly, if there's any change to your family circumstances, change of address when you move house, or significant family changes, or anything that you think might affect your child and how they're going to be at school, please let us know, so we can update our records, and just so we know, so that we can look after them the way we want to be able to look after them. But I will hand you over to Mr. Harvey now.
You okay, press the buttons?
I will press the buttons, Mr. Harvey.
Evening everybody, nice to see everybody here. As Miss Devlin said earlier on, it's great that we're all able to be in here tonight and have this meeting. I'm just going to give you a little bit of information about how we will monitor the progress our young people are making, and how we'll share that information with you going through the school. So we're calling it a process of tracking the pupils, monitoring the progress and reporting it to you as their parents and carers. What we've got already, or what we'll definitely have by the time they come here, they'll have been completing their Primary 7 profile. That'll be shared with us, and then we'll share that with all the teaching staff, and that'll give the teaching staff, as well as the time they've spent with them over the last couple of days, a wee bit of information just so that we can get to know a bit about them from day one, rather than it taking us 6-7 weeks to really get to know the young people. And there'll be information in there about themselves and their learning up till this point. That process that I've described, it's an ongoing process right the way through the school, and it's based in dialogue and kind of reflecting on the learning that we're doing. We talk about reflecting on a period by period basis, at the end of a day, at the end of a week, at the end of topics, just where are we at. And we know that in a classroom, pupils will be at different stages in their learning, from where they've come from and where they're going, and we can all learn at different places. It's important that pupils understand what they're learning. That reflecting at the end of the period gives us as teachers an opportunity to have they actually understood what we're teaching. And then we think about the skills that we're developing as well. And it's not just about the subject content, it's about the wider skills and where they fit into different subject categories and where they go in and are used in life and work. And that's that relevance of the learning across the curriculum rather than us working in silos. When we come to report progress to you as parents and carers, there will be an indication of the effort and the behaviour that's taking place in the class. Obviously, if there's an issue with effort and behaviour, you'll know about it way before any report. We've worked really hard over the last 5 or 6 years to try and replicate that kind of drip feed that you'll be used to, getting regular contact for the primaries, and we weren't very good at it at one point, so we're trying regular information. But on the actual formal reporting periods, you'll get effort and behaviour. You'll get a level achieved, which you'll be used to getting in the primaries. From the primaries, you might not get all the curricular areas. You'll be used to literacy, you'll be used to numeracy, possibly science and the key subject areas, but you'll get one for all the subjects that your youngsters are taking part in. You'll get an idea of the progress they're making towards the next level and what's expected of a pupil at a particular stage in their education, the age and stage. And then towards the end of the year, you'll get an idea about what the next steps would be, a kind of comment saying, where are we going next? What should the young person be thinking about to do next in each subject? Next one. And then on the back of that, we don't just record the information and leave it at that and share it with you. We put a whole load of measures in place in school to support and move forward. So in school, there's obviously the support of the class teacher. When I've recorded that information as a class teacher, I've now just shared it with my principal teacher. So the principal teacher and colleagues in the department can come in and support. Guidance staff will have got an idea of the picture across the curriculum, so they'll be identifying common themes and maybe supporting from their perspective. And then as year heads, we've got an overview as well, and we might speak to individual pupils, we might look at cohorts of pupils, and we might then look at measures we can put in place at a whole school level or within departments to maybe support pupils and groups of pupils moving forward. And that's an idea of what you're going to get over the year in terms of the formal points in the calendar. Very early in the year, you'll get that first tracking summary. That's very much a settling in. Let you know that everything's okay, that they've settled in fine in September. There'll be a parents' evening in September as well for the same purpose. We want to reassure you and make sure that you're happy and that you've had a chance to speak to us, and often put faces to names by meeting the teachers in September. Then there'll be another tracking summary in January, and then you'll get that final summary report in May, which will kind of give you a holistic picture of the year. And then obviously, as we said before, if you need to contact us about anything, just lift the phone, speak to guidance, speak to one of us, and there'll be other opportunities and times in the year where we may want to make contact with you, but everybody will get those 4 points of contact throughout the year. So that's me. Thank you very much.
Right now, Mr. Ewing, Neil Ewing, is going to speak a little bit about the curriculum at KGS.
Hi folks, I just wanted to briefly go over a couple of things that can be found on the school website. We've put a lot of work into mapping our curriculum across the 6 years at KGS. So on the school website there's both curriculum maps, and as well as that there's also subject pathways in each of the subjects. So I just wanted to give you an example of these. The curriculum maps are found on the school website under the Departments of Curriculum tab. And we've mapped first year, second year, third year, and then all our senior phase courses. So as first year parents, you might want to go in and see what exactly do we do in all the different subjects. It's just a brief overview, but just to give you a flavour of what the pupils will be studying. So we'll have a look at the S1 curriculum map. Look at that. Okay, it's downloaded. that's just an example there of various subjects, science, geography, modern language, mathematics. It just gives you a glimpse of what the pupils will be covering as they go through first year. And we do that for second year, third year, and as we go up to school, and the pupils spend more and more time in subjects, so that the content gets larger and larger. Just going back to the website here. To find the curriculum pathways, it's just on the same part of the website. And here we'll go to, we'll choose, go to science. And this is the biology page. And if you're interested in particular subjects, if people's really interested in art or really interested in science, you can have a look at what they cover in first year, then second year, third year, fourth year, and right through school until we get to advanced higher. And this is the biology page. And they also cover human biology as well. So if you've got a chance, you've got a bit of time, you just go on the school website, have a look around the different subjects, and just get a feel from the content that's going to be covered in the various different subjects. Okay, thank you, that's me.
If I could ask you to just stay there for 2 ticks, if you could just kind of indicate, you don't have to click on them, but I'd just like to point out, the school website's just great, there's lots of information for you, but we've got 2 tabs at the top that weren't there before. One of them is, just see, financial support. That's just to be helpful for you all. There's lots and lots of links to various different forms of financial support, and it's just to make it easier for you. So things like the education maintenance allowance, that's for older pupils, and the Young Scot card and things like that. So it's quite a nice little place where you can find financial information for you as families and for your young people. And then the other one is the Orkney Support Service, and that's to do with mental health services. There's a whole range of mental health services and links there. Again, it's just to be helpful for you. And the final one there is Growing Up in Orkney website. Again, lots and lots of links for young people, for parents, and for professionals as well. So just thought that would be useful for you to have on the school website. Thanks very much. Could put it back to the PowerPoint, that would be super. It's at the top there.
I've got my glasses on, Miss Devlin.
Just at the, that's at the top there.
Yeah.
No, other,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, that's it. Lovely, thank you for that.
Full screen.
Yeah. Super. So we've talked about communication and really just lots and lots of different ways. So one way of communicating with you is via the website. Another way is our head teachers, what do I call it? A newsletter, or it's an update that is sent out every single week to you all, and you get that through Expressions, which I don't quite understand Expressions. Mr. Harvey's maybe say something about Expressions, because that's the main way that we communicate with you as parents.
It's a system called Group Call, and within it, it'll take your email address, it'll take your mobile phone, and you can download an Expressions app. And I can't remember the order it looks for them in, but when we send out a message to groups of pupils or all parents, it does it in order. I think it looks for the, I'll not say it because I'll talk nonsense, but it'll look for email. If it can't find the email, it'll find the text message. If it can't find the text message, it looks for the app last. I think so you can download it on various devices. We've got it for as parents for the primary school, and we've got it on the iPad and both phones, so it goes everywhere. So I'm sure there'll be more information if you needed it, but it's, yeah. You want to spark Miss Devlin?
Right, so communication, as I say, is important, so telephone. I suppose the main thing is when we're thinking about mobile phones is we've got quite strict policy about mobile phones and when pupils use them. So I would ask that if you do need to contact your young person in an emergency, just use the old-fashioned method of phoning the school if it's an emergency, rather than relying on them being able to see their phone, because we do have them switched off and in school bags during lesson times, and they're really only supposed to have them out, in fact they're definitely only supposed to have them out at break and lunch times, obviously before registration time and after school. So if you really do need to contact them, and it's during what you know will be lesson times, please just phone the school. We will get a message to them really quickly. Even if if you need to speak to them on the phone, we can get them a telephone for you to speak to them. So hope you understand that. Okay, so that leads me on to mobile device use. Just to confirm that we cannot be responsible for mobile phones in the school or smartwatches. So if anything happens to them, I'm afraid it's not covered by our insurance or anything like that. So just be aware of that, folks. And we do get some very upset pupils who've lost their mobile phone or it's gone astray or something, and I don't really want that to happen to yours. And they love having them. So just to reiterate, mobile devices must be switched off and kept in bags before classes, in the morning and throughout the day. They can have them out at break and lunch times and after school, obviously. If they do have it in class and it's without permission, and they need to ask for permission to use it, because it could be used for part of the teaching and learning. If it's used without permission, then duty officer is called, the phone is confiscated till the end of the day, and then they'll do a detention the following day. I mentioned already change of circumstances for your child, and again, just anything at all, emergency contacts, it's really important that those are kept up to date. It's really difficult to remember, I think, as time goes on, but it's just so important because there's been lots of times when I've been trying to phone an emergency contact and I've got a number unobtainable because the links haven't been updated. So please do anything at all that you think it would be important for us to know, or anything that's going to have an impact on your child and how they're feeling that day. If it's just even maybe a pet has died or something like that, that can make them feel pretty sad. So it's great for us to know, just helps us. Now, I know it sounds a bit weird because this is S1 we're talking about, but right from the minute they start at KGS, we're really interested in where they're going to end up. And it's that ongoing journey towards the end of school, and we don't know when that end of school is going to be. It could be when they're 16, 17 or 18. And so Skills Development Scotland are really important to us, and we've even, so much so that we've got them linked to each house, as you can see, and you'll find that they've got a stall outside. So you can speak to them, and that's the career service, just to let you know, S1 and 2. Yes, even in S1 and 2, they get group sessions in classes. Parents' evenings, you will see Skills Development Scotland parents' evenings, because we want pupils to be thinking about the skills that each subject gives them. And then drop-in sessions. You can always have a drop-in session if you ever think, actually, even though my child's only in S1 or S2, I'd quite like them to get a session. We can arrange that. They're really, really accommodating, and we have a very close tie with them. And then S3, you can see just a bit more intervention, career group sessions, drop-ins again, and one-to-ones about subject choices, and so on through the school, and obviously particularly as they get into S4 and S6. We've got a parent council, and they will be very keen to see if any of you would like to be on the committee or join the parent council, or just be involved as part of the wider parent body. And they're serving teas and coffees outside, so do go up and say hi to them. They won't do the hard sell, but they'll be delighted to speak to you. And the chair is Brian Kynoch, so they're just super, very supportive for us. Now, we've got something else, and I really wanted this to happen for you all this year. Bev Flett, is Bev here? No. Could you nip out, Mr. Nisbet? So we've got a Police Scotland Preventions and Interventions officer here, and Bev's going to talk to you about internet safety. It's just something that I think you probably all is so important. No, it's so important. We don't want you to frighten you, but we do want our pupils, you, the parents, to be prepared and just have a wee think about that. And she's got a wee presentation to do for you, and it's really just about staying safe online. And I do hope it's quite a short wee presentation, but when she does come in to do it, I hope just have a good listen. While we're waiting for her, just really to say, we've got a whole load of folk out there. You may have noticed when you came in, but we do have stalls for lots of different organisations. We've got fantastic links with lots and lots of people. When your child's at KGS, it's not just about KGS, it's about all sorts of other organisations. And here is Bev. We'll come back to that. Come on up, Bev. Come on the stage. She's in her full uniform, which is excellent. There you go. I'll do the slides.
Hello everyone, I'm Bev Flett and I'm one of the police officers at Kirkbill Police Station. Just going to have a wee chat to you about internet safety. I won't bore you for too long, I promise. So now that your kids are going to be going up to first year, it opens up a wide range of new pals, new peers, new opportunities to get online. So it's just about having an awareness of what they can get into and how you can support them for it. So what do we use the internet for? We use it for everything. You can access whatever you want on the internet. You know yourself, you just type in Google whatever you want to look for and it'll come up right away. So we need to be aware on how we can limit what our kids can see, basically. What one are we on? Yeah, so some of the things you can get involved in: cyberbullying. Unfortunately, that's becoming more and more popular. Pressure to take part in sexting, viewing pornography, hacking, many more. There's loads of things. It's a very positive place for kids. It's a good place to learn. It's a good place to speak to peers, but we just need to make sure that they're not getting into anything we don't want them. So what does your child do online? Just as a show of hands, whose kids have got social media that you're aware of? Quite a few, yeah. And it is a good thing, it's not a bad thing always. Just ask yourself, how much do you actually know about it? How much do you know about social media and gaming and all the different things they can access? As adults and parents, it's our responsibility to monitor what they're seeing and what they can access online. If they get involved in something we don't want them, it's our responsibility. It's not Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat. It's not their fault. It's ours that we've let them get to that. So we need to make ourselves aware of what's out there, basically. We need to make it our business to know about social media. It's no different than your kid being involved in football and they ask for a new pair of football boots, so you buy them it. It's the same as that. If they ask you a question about social media or gaming or anything like that, we need to know what to tell them. Parental controls. You can basically set up parental controls on anything. Search engines, so you can limit what they can see. It'll filter out some of the explicit stuff if they search stuff. You can set it up on any app: Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and privacy settings as well. So Facebook and Instagram, all that sort of stuff, it's really easy just to tap into privacy settings and make sure that it's only their friends that can see what they're posting, no one else can comment on it. As well with comments, like your kids going up to first year, they've just got a small group of friends and all of a sudden they'll want a phone because their friends at school have a phone, and they'll want a Twitter account and they'll want a TikTok account, and suddenly all these people in the whole world can start commenting on their things. That can have quite a detrimental effect to their self-esteem if people start commenting nasty things. So it's just about knowing how to limit that and not let all these outside sources into their world. Snapchat seems to be the big thing that everyone talks over. I mind asking one of the under 17 netball ones to send me something on WhatsApp, and they didn't have WhatsApp. They said we only use Snapchat. So that was an eye-opener for me. And on Snapchat, I'm not sure if you're all aware, but you can actually see exactly where you are on Snapchat if your ghost mode isn't activated. So if someone wants to know, if your child accepts someone that's added them as a friend and they want to know where they are, they can zoom into the exact house they're at. So it's just about having this knowledge of that ghost mode and getting these sort of things locked down so people aren't able to know where they are and get in contact with them. Internetmatters.org is a website, and it's a great resource for finding out about parental controls. It gives you great advice and guides on how to set up controls on all the different apps and social media sites, etc. that you would need to, so I would recommend going to have a look at that. Check your child's phone regularly and the history. I know it's easier said than done, but if you can get to that, just check, see what they've been accessing, check their history, just make sure that they're not getting involved in anything that you don't want them. Preventing cyberbullying. So unfortunately, especially with COVID as well, everything's online. and unfortunately people behind a keyboard are a lot braver than they are in person, so we're seeing a lot of cyberbullying stuff. You can just click through that. So just take time to talk to your children. Learn how various social networking sites work. Like I say, we need to know how these things work and how to help them. Talk regularly with them. Build their trust. Provide support and education for them. They might come to you with a question, or they might come and say that they're really upset that their Snapchat streak has stopped. So we need to know what that is and how we can make them feel better. Don't overreact to things, and don't underreact either. I know I'm saying go to work, don't go to work, but we just need to know how to deal with situations the best we can. How to report it if anyone comes across anything online that they're worried about, or their child's worried about, if they've been sent an image that they're not happy with or been told to send an image, just report it 101 to the police or pop into the station. If it's illegal offline, it's illegal online, so don't be afraid to just phone us and speak to us advice if you're worried. A few good places to go for more advice is thinkyouKnow.co.uk. That's a good resource which has age-specific advice for different online matters. NSPCC is the same, and Internet Matters is the one that I said is good for giving you advice on parental controls. And then one last thing is fearless.com, which some of you might have heard about. It's basically a kids' version of Crime Stoppers. So it's a way that kids can give information to police completely anonymously, and their IP address or that won't be tracked. If they have any information, is it about sexual exploitation or drugs or anything like that, they can give information to this completely anonymously, and it gets fed back to police as intelligence. But I think that's it. That's a whistle-stop tour, but I'm outside with more information if anyone's got any questions.
So, a bit scary as well, but we just wanted to be forewarned. A lot of stuff that goes on the internet and social media happens outside of school, but unfortunately it does have an impact on our pupils in the school, and that's really one of the reasons why we want to help out with that. So, just to give you a bit of an idea of all the tables that are dining hall, there's a few people who haven't been able to make it tonight because they're ill. Got a lot of illness going around the community at the moment, as we all know. So we'll just have a wee look, and hopefully quite a few of these are here, but just to give you a bit of an idea. We've got, I don't think the youth workers are able to make it. We've got a social emotional behaviour teacher, school health team, Police Scotland, Orkney Drugs dog out there. Don't know if the dog's actually there. No, unfortunately not, but never mind. Zoe, she's lovely. Skills Development Scotland, Clan Cancer Support, catering team. We don't have the Children and Adolescent Mental Health Service here. I think Pat Hall's residents are able to come, in-school counselling service, Women's Aid, Youth Cafe, Action for Children, Young Carers, I think have been able to come. And we've got the PT of Maths, numeracy, so if you've got any numeracy questions, maths is not my strong suit, so please don't be embarrassed if it isn't yours, but he's there to answer any questions, and all sorts of other things there. So please do have a school librarian. School library is really, really popular with kids. They can go there at break and lunchtime and even in the morning. It's a great service. And of course we've got our guidance team, we've got our senior leadership team, we've got teas and coffees from the Parent Council. What more can I say? We've got Mrs. Phillips and all sorts of others. So please do have a lovely wander around. Last not least, they've disappeared, so I'm not able to thank them, but I am going to thank them anyway. The S6 helpers, they've done a little bit of training to do tours of the school. They've had a professional tour guide in to do a very brief training for them, and so they're all ready to do tours of the school for you. So you'll see there's a little area out there. There's different times for the school tours, and that's basically it. Roughly at 20-minute intervals. We'll be flexible. If you've just always fancied having a wee look around the school, but we're never able to until now, here's your big opportunity, and it's a beautiful school. We're very proud of it. So and they will give you a wee 20-minute tour if you want. So please, thank you so much for coming. We've had a lovely time over the last 2 days with your young people, and we're really happy to see you again in person. Any questions at all, please just ask us when you're outside. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a good evening.